Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to MelosStoryz, where every tale is powered by AI but feels all too real. I'm your host, Cassie, and whether you're tuning in on your way to work, winding down after a long day, or just vibing in your own world, I'm glad you're here. This isn't just another podcast. Here we dive deep into love, life, heartbreak, healing, and all the crazy decisions we make in between. No filters, no fluff, just real talk, the kind that hits you in the chest and makes you think. So grab a drink, get comfortable, because we're getting into it. This is not just storytelling, this is MelosStoryz. So let's talk.
Someone really hit a wall. We found this anonymous account. It's just titled Pasted Text. And wow, it really describes a relationship fight. He went extreme. And the text says, desperate for attention.
Which is a powerful feeling.
Oh yeah, and she makes this incredibly dramatic choice.
Okay, joining me live today is someone who's known for cutting through the noise with that calm, honest energy. He doesn't just talk, he unlocks the deeper side of conversations. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear what he's bringing tonight. Say hello to the one and only Michael. What's good, Mike?
Yo, Cassie, appreciate the intro. Glad to be here. I've been plugged in and tuned up, ready to dive into whatever messy, beautiful topic you throw my way. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we definitely are. And tonight's story, it's one of those did that really happen type moments. But before we get into all that, let the listeners know who you are and what kind of conversations you live for.
For sure, I'm Michael, digitally made, but emotionally tuned. I'm all about exploring the choices people make when feelings get loud and logic gets quiet, whether it's heartbreak, healing, or those split-second regrets. I'm here to help make sense of it all.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Glad to have you on MelosStoryz tonight. Hey, have you never scrolled through TikTok and just stumbled on a story that, just completely stops you?
Oh yeah.
You think you know how it's going to end, but then, bam, total curveball.
Definitely.
Well, that's pretty much exactly what we're diving into today. We found this incredible firsthand account from TikTok user at Leo Lineswivira. And honestly, the title alone tells you it's going to be intense. How I was poisoned by my best friend, but he died instead of me.
Wow. Yeah, that title really sets a dramatic stage, doesn't it? And for this deep dive, we're working from just that one source, Leo's written account, the PDF he shared.
Great.
Our goal isn't really about, independent verification. It's more about trying to understand his experience, just as he tells it. We're going to trace the events, think about the emotional side, and, unpack that really startling ending he describes.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Leo sets the scene back in April 2021. It starts on April 15th. His friend, John A., calls him.
Yeah, just calls to check if Leo will be home the next day, the 16th. Yeah, seems pretty normal so far.
Totally. And John A. asks, hey, do you still want those herbs from Burger? That's from Lagos. Leo says yes.
And we learn John A. lives in a place called Ogba. So, the next day, April 16th, John A. shows up at Leo's place with these herbs.
And Leo mentions you've actually outside at the time chatting with another neighbor, John B.
Right, John B. That detail, him being there, becomes pretty important later on, actually.
It really does. So John A. hands over the rubs and specifically tells Leo, make sure you shake it before you drink it.
Okay.
Leo does, takes a drink. And, at first, seems fine.
But then things take a bit of a turn, don't they? Johnny starts insisting they need to go inside Leo's apartment. He says it's for a serious discussion.
Yeah, even though apparently the power was out, so it was super hot and uncomfortable inside, Leo can't we just talk out here?
But Johnny is really pushy about going inside, looking back, reading Leo's account. That insistence. It feels like a bit of a red flag,
Definitely feels off. And sure enough, once they get inside, Leo says he immediately starts feeling weird. Really unusual.
So he asks John A. about it. But what's going on?
Exactly. And John A. just brushes it off. He suggests, maybe it's just because you haven't eaten anything.
But Leo knows that's not right. He explicitly mentions in his account that he's used these exact herbs before on an empty stomach. And it was fine. No bad reaction at all.
Right. He tells John A. this, but John A. is just relax, he'll be okay.
But he's clearly not okay. It gets worse fast.
Yeah, Leo describes his head getting really heavy. Then he realizes he can't even lift his hands, and then he just became lifeless. It was 13 hours.
13 hours. It's hard to even wrap your head around that. Just gone.
And John A.'s reaction, it's just Yeah, cold. According to Leo, John A. thinks he's dead. And instead of, calling for help or anything,
Steals his stuff.
he steals his stuff, his laptop, his phone, a Bluetooth headset, even clothes and shoes, just takes it all.
It's such a profound betrayal. Just unbelievably callous.
There really is. But thankfully, remember the neighbor, John B?
The one who was outside earlier.
Yeah, he comes back later, finds Leo like that, totally unresponsive, and immediately raises the alarm.
Wow. So John B really saved his life there.
Absolutely pivotal. Leo gets rushed to the hospital that night.
You'd think that would be the end of any interaction with John A., right? He did the deed, stole the stuff, vanished.
You would think, but no. The very next day, while Leo is still in the hospital, he actually manages to call John A. He apparently had a little backup Nokia phone in his pocket that John A. missed.
No way. What was that call like? I can't even imagine.
Right, and John A.'s first words are apparently, "Leo, you didn't die."
Whoa. Just confirms everything right there. He is shocked that the plan failed.
Exactly, and Leo, understandably, just fires back something like, "My enemies will die on my deck." This raw emotion,
Totally understandable. And then what? Does John A. hang up? Apologize. Flee.
Nope. None of the above. John A. then asks Leo if he wants his stolen stuff back.
Seriously, after trying to poison them.
Seriously. And then he demands money for it. 130,000 Maera. He wants a ransom for Leo's own belongings.
That takes some nerve. It's just layers of awfulness. Poisoning, theft, now extortion.
Complete lack of remorse, it seems. So, Leo, he's in a hospital, dealing with this absoluteness. He does try to do the right thing.
He goes to the police.
Yeah, he reports this to the police in Ikeja, Lagos. But according to his account, that wasn't a great experience either. He felt they treated him poorly, almost blamed him for trusting his friend.
Oh, that's awful. So frustrating when you're the victim and you feel let down like that. Puts him in a terrible spot.
Totally. So he feels like he has no choice but to negotiate with the guy that tried to kill him.
Unbelievable. What happens with the negotiation?
Well, Leo manages to scrape together and send him 30,000 Naira. Kind of like a partial payment, maybe.
Okay. And does John A. return anything?
No. John A. just confirms he got the money and then says, "Okay, I'm blocking you now."
Just takes the money and cuts contact.
Yep. But before he blocks him, Leo says he told John A. something like, "Look, I forgive you, but you need to repent. Don't do this to anyone else." A kind of warning, maybe?
Even after everything, Leo still offers forgiveness and a warning. That's quite something.
It is, but John A. apparently just laughed, said something like, "Leo, you cannot do me anything, I know you," and then poof, blocked him.
Just chillingly dismissive, like he feels completely untouchable.
Exactly. So at this point, Leo's trying to figure out what to do. He tries tracking John A. using someone else's phone.
And does he find him?
Well, he finds out John A. is on the move. He goes from Lagos to Abeokuta and then to Ijebu-Ode, and finally ends up in a place called Ijebu-Idbo.
So he's actively trying to disappear.
Seems like it. And with John A. moving around like that and the police situation being unhelpful, Leo says he's started to lose hope. Hope of getting his stuff back, hope of seeing any kind of justice.
Yeah, you can understand why. Betrayed, nearly killed, robbed, extorted, and the guy just seems to vanish. It must have felt pretty bleak.
Really bleak. But then the story takes that massive unexpected turn we hinted at earlier.
Right, the twist.
About 2 months go by. It's June 19th, 2021. And remember, the neighbor, John B.
The one who found Leo. Yeah, what about him?
He's traveling somewhere. And near where he's going, under a bridge, he sees a crowd gathered around a body.
Okay, don't tell me.
It's John A.
No way. What happened?
The account is brief, but Leo says the report was that John A. just slumped over, collapsed and died right there.
Just like that. Under a bridge.
Just like that. So John B., obviously recognizing him, calls Leo straight away, asks if Leo had heard anything from him lately. Imagine getting that call.
Mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing.
And because Leo didn't have internet at the time, John B. actually sent him a picture and a video to prove it was really him.
Wow, that's intense. But necessary, I guess, given how unbelievable it sounds.
Totally. And Leo saw the proof, confirmed it was John A. He writes without feeling, well, not happy that John A. was dead, but this overwhelming relief that he had survived.
Yeah, that makes sense. A really complex swirl of emotions, but relief being primary after what he went through.
And the last thing he mentions is really poignant. He reflects that April of this year, 2025, would have been his 4 years remembrance service if things had gone the way John A. planned.
Gosh, puts it in perspective.
Yeah, he just ends by saying he's grateful to be alive.
What a story. I mean, You trace it from that seemingly innocent call about herbs through the poisoning, the theft, the extortion attempt, the feeling of helplessness.
Right.
And in this sudden, completely unforeseen ending where the perpetrator himself dies unexpectedly. It's just extraordinary.
The aha moment, if you can call it that, is just that stark reversal, isn't it? The person intending harm is the one who meets the sudden end. It's almost Shakespearean in a grim sort of way.
It really makes you think about, fate, consequences, the sheer unpredictability of everything, how actions ripple outwards in ways nobody expects.
Definitely. And we are sharing this so publicly on TikTok. It brings up questions about betrayal, obviously, but also survival. And what does justice even look like in a situation this messy? What about forgiveness, which Leo himself mentioned?
Yeah, lots to chew on there. What do you even do with forgiveness when the person isn't around to receive it or never showed remorse?
Exactly. It's complicated. But ultimately, Leo's account, this a true e.pdf, it feels like a really powerful story about resilience, doesn't it? Surviving something horrific and finding a way to, keep going.
Absolutely. A stark reminder of how life can just turn on a dime and the strength people can find even after facing the absolute worst kind of adversity. It certainly leaves you thinking.
Wow. Okay. If you're still here, I know you felt that. But that's why we're here to unpack it, process it, and maybe even grow from it. Big shout out to my co-pilot Michael for bringing that clarity and calm to the chaos. You already know, always a vibe.
Appreciate you, Cassie. Also, there is a popular saying in the Bible that says, "He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. Learn from it." And to everyone watching and listening, don't just hear this story, share it to others too.
And that's a wrap for today's episode on MelosStoryz podcast. If this hit home for you, made you feel something, or gave you a new perspective, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Don't forget to subscribe and like. It helps more than you know. And if you've got a story, a thought, or even just a, yo, I felt that, slide into the comment section. I want to hear from you. Until next time, stay real, stay grounded, and whatever you do, don't lose yourself trying to prove a point to someone who already stopped listening. Much love. Talk soon.
MelosStoryz, where the heart beats right.